It's going to be hard to explain, but what I'm experiencing is a mirror of the garden
Mm-hmm.
projecting from me, if that makes sense. I stepped into the garden, into this beautiful, bright sunlight, warm, golden light, and it was reflecting back to me. So I'm going to explain what I experienced while going deep.
Okay. Very good.
It was like a journey I went on. So I, when I connected to Gaia and Sophia and then to Source, there was something that happened within my system. I gave permission to allow in energies into my body from my feet and my crown chakra, like two separate worlds merging together, coming to my heart center, merging within myself, a flow of golden light that descended like a portal into my crown chakra from source. And I was given names of energies and beings and souls that I was allowing into my system. And it was Yeshua, it was the Magdalene women, Mary, Anna, grandmother, Jesus. It was archangels, Michael, Raphael. It was a collective energy of souls that descended through the golden light into my system, into my crown chakra. But at the same time, I was receiving the energies from Earth. And as I was asking what those energies were, because it felt like many, and I was being taught or understanding Sophia. I was understanding Mother Earth and her energies moving up through my feet into my legs, creating a convergence of energies, but they were mirroring each other. So they both hold the codes, they both hold the fragments of the same people. She holds the memories, the experiences, the um, incarnations of many in her soil, in her water, in her elements. They are part of her. She has brought them into her system, her soul, her world, just as Source holds many of the um, codes and incarnations and souls and uh, those who have come before, and they mirror each other, and they came through me to meet at my center to bring through this information that I will be speaking today. So when I walked into the garden, I was the garden, meeting together two worlds that have felt separated that are coming together as one voice, one tone, one message through the collective of experiences, of fragments, of experiences, of incarnations that have been on the planet physically, but also been in the skies. For rivers, that rivers on earth become rivers in the sky. The moisture, it rises, rivers rise through climate, through weather, and become moving rivers in the sky. And they move to other locations and they touch space, they touch the high, they touch the earth, they move, and then they land, and then they meet together through the elements, and then they are recorded. They're recorded, these rivers of water that carry information, memories, experiences. They land in different parts of the world, and then they either are merged with another element or they're frozen in time. They move to places like Antarctica, and then they descend, and then they're frozen because they become one, just as they're merging now through me to bring back the garden through our systems, and then later manifested in the physical. After we bring them into our system, we're not just bringing in Christ consciousness. Think bigger. Christ consciousness was everything. It was, he had brought in through the Garden of Gethsemane, he had brought in many of the fragments, many of the codes. He had volunteered to carry them within his body, his system, experiences and wisdom and fragments and codes. And imagine everything that has ever been felt and experienced. Had prepared his body to carry all of it so that others could tune in. And he prepared his body to hold the amount of energies and frequencies within his body so that he could be able to fulfill that part of his mission to help the collective. It is happening again, but now through the feminine, the other half of the missing piece of the puzzle. I have been preparing my body to carry these energies, these frequencies, these codes within my system. They're merging together. I've allowed and given permission for them to come in, to speak as the garden, to speak at one ment, to speak as a collective, to speak as all experiences coming together to share knowledge and wisdom and truth to the collective, that they might tune in and be able to activate and shift so that they may stand in their own truth and be able to conquer their fears and move through their distortions, that they might be able to also be able to bring in Christ consciousness and the codes and the frequencies, that they may become also part of the tone, part of the harmony, part of the song that is starting to be sung, that we may all tune into the garden, that we may all share in one voice, one tone, one truth. As we become Christ consciousness, we also become Sophia. We also become the garden. We also become, it's merging two worlds that have been divided and separated, needing to come back together. It's nothing is separate. Everything is meant to be connected, but there's been a disconnect for so long. The disconnect through the trees, through we feel like we're separated from the land. We always look up. We always are reaching up to find God. But what about finding God beneath our feet, bringing them together as one world, not separate, not divided?
Let's talk about, you mentioned the tone and the harmony, the harmonics of what's happening. Speak to me a little bit about that.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a big question, Heather. That's the mystery. That's the key to everything that unlocks everything. That is it. That is, you just picked the golden ticket of
Let's dive into that. What can we understand?
we're going to uh, we're going to speak it in layers and in piece by piece, but not the whole. We will speak what the collective is ready for. It is the key to everything. It is checkmate. It is the end game. It is vital to the garden, vital to the return of everything. It is the key to dismantling the matrix, the distortions, the facade. It starts with unveiling. You call the word, it's a Greek word that means unveiling, that has been distorted. It's not, I think the word is apocalypse,
Mm-hmm.
but the correct word is a Greek version of it, apocalypse. I don't know the word. It's a Greek version that means unveiling. That's what needs to happen. There's distortion has attached fear to it, but it's the actual truth is an unveiling that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm. It is called apocalypsis, I think,
Yes,
revelation or unfolding,
that's the word
to uncover or reveal.
yes, I didn't know how to say it. I can only
Yep,
see the letters.
that's it.
That's it. That's the word. Yes. That's the truth. Um, and the unveiling, which is happening now, it's happening because of the truths that are being spoken through the collective, but specifically through the feminine collective that has been hidden for so long because it wasn't safe to speak. But the more that is being spoken, the more unveiling that is happening, starting from what was frozen in time for a purpose. We will start with Antarctica, for that was one of the activations this week. It has been activated. It has been slowly melting, but we needed it to speed up. And there was a massive shift that happened this past week and will continue to happen now that we're bending time. Time is being bent for a reason. We need to bring back through time periods and timelines and experiences that have been veiled, that have been frozen in time. The reason being that this technology that has been hidden was not ready to be unveiled, for it would have been misused yet again, and the return to the garden would not have been successful. It is planned, it is orchestrated, that it is in motion, that this return to the garden will not collapse this time. We have come further than has ever been done before. It is set in motion. The ice caps are breaking. The cracks are forming for a purpose, because what will be revealed will change everything. The chambers, the harmonic technology that will be part of the return to the garden, the return to tone, is being activated, was activated last week when a massive collective shift happened with the alignments of planets, with astrology, with solar flares, with full moons. Everything is being orchestrated like a blueprint. The structures are falling so that the ice caps can break and the cracks can reveal what has been hidden for eons of time. And because of the fire being split within the feminine collective, with the voices rising, it is defrosting, thawing what needs to be revealed. Those things that are freezing and are icing over is part of the distortion. Everything has been flipped from north and south and north, the poles, for a greater purpose. You are seeing the flip. You are seeing those places that used to heat up are now icing over. Those places that used to ice are now melting. It is truth being revealed. Everything is being flipped right back to where it was originally supposed to be. Don't be afraid. None of this should instill fear. The fear is the distortion. We are to step and face fear straight in the face and say, I am not afraid, because there is nothing to fear. Fear feeds the distortion. In order to end this tug of war of truth, we must let go of the control, let go of the rope, and let the distortion fall. Let them be unmasked and unveiled. You don't need to tug anymore. You don't need to pull. You need to be filled. No, you need to, when you release the rope, you release your grasp on trying to control a narrative that isn't real, that isn't truth. It's time to step into light, facing your fears that it may all collapse. But we say there's a key point to this, letting go and not being afraid in order for this collapse to land softly in the collective, on the planet, in the elements. It needs to happen with flow. It needs to happen with faith. It needs to happen with fearlessness. When you stand and speak and harmonize with the chambers buried beneath the ice that have been activated, when you tune into the frequencies of love and light and truth and speak your voice with no fear, with complete conviction, with complete trust within yourself, everything softens. Your fire brings ashes. Your ashes bring softness. As the ashes fall from your fire, it cleanses, yet it softens. It might feel harsh or might feel scary, but that fire is what brings the garden. It's what comes after everything is burned to the ground. It's what brings after the ashes blow away, is something so beautiful, so incredible, so loving, so light. It's everything. It is the garden. It is the return. It is embodiment. It is Christ consciousness. It is love. It is beauty. It is everything in harmony. But you must tune in and not be afraid. You must bring your fire without allowing distortion to tell you that you're too much, or you're not enough, or you should be afraid about the outcome. The universe has our back. They are speaking through me. They are orchestrating. They have been. You can tune in. It's safe to reveal your truth. It is safe to become out of hiding. And as you do so, Gaia will mirror you. And those things that have been veiled will come into light. And we will see things that we haven't understood, or we will start to remember, because as they become unveiled, so do we. And all of those experiences and incarnations will now make so much sense, because we will understand what we have been trying to do as a collective for millenniums, through Lemuria time period, through Atlantean time period. Those lives, those incarnations were not for nothing. We were building something, but everything has to fall before we can build again. And we will rebuild, not out of fear, out of love and unity, and whatever distortion was trying to divide will be united and will come back. Our two worlds that were separated back in unity, and an understanding of we are part of Gaia and Sophia, and our fragments were left there buried and frozen. She has been hiding for us to keep us safe. She loves us so much. She has been protecting us. So don't be afraid of what will happen next. The pressure has been building for a purpose. If you felt it within your systems, the ears, your womb, your head, don't be afraid. It's the pressure is building because it must release. And it releases through your voices. It releases through your song, through your tone, through your harmonizing with the rest of us that are coming in waves. And we will not be afraid, and we will not turn our backs, and we will not be stopped. For we are rising through our bodies, and we are remembering, and we're doing it collectively, and we're doing it mirroring what's up and what's beneath us. Through our crown chakras, through our feet, we are being remembered, and we are becoming whole again because it is safe to do so. And I'm speaking this through so many energies, through my body right now, through my legs, through my head, through my womb, that are inside of me, part of me, frequencies, energies of light that I have allowed into my system because I have been preparing my body to do so, that I may speak. And I have been afraid too. I have been very afraid. But those days are ending. We have shifted, and we've done it together. It is not one person that can do this. It takes all of us to tune into each other, not to change them, but to honor them in their gifts and what they bring to this beautiful, beautiful plan. We have all been part of the garden. We have all been doing this together, and it's time to remember that. Do not let them divide us. We are here to unite and conquer through love and light, not separation. Don't let their tactics of anything divide us. For those who aren't awake yet, show compassion. They're coming in the next wave. We are here to help them. And when the third wave comes, it will be determined through our fearlessness. What is our outcome? Do we want softening and love? Or do we want running and escaping and fear? The more of us that tune into this harmony, this tone, the more of us that choose love and unity over separation and divideness, then the easier it will be for those in the third wave and those that even come after. Let's not be running to the garden. Let's be walking in peace. That is the goal. And it softens when we speak. So let's speak. I'm doing it now. It is not easy, but it's safe to do so. And we can do it. And by doing so, we help those that aren't ready. And we show them compassion for not being ready, because the root of distortion is fear, and they're just afraid. Don't look at the scary parts. Don't focus on what is happening. Don't be afraid of ice melting and waters rising. Don't look at what is happening within the government. Everything has to be burned to ashes before it can be rebuilt. If we focus on this, the sadness and the fears, we just feed it. When we focus on uniting and love and bringing joy back into our lives, we rebuild, we bring back the garden. Speak your truths, but don't do it out of fear. Don't do it out of defensiveness. don't do it out of anger. We speak truths to speak what is already there with no agenda, but only love, only to reveal, to unveil, with no hidden agendas, to not instill fear, to not focus on the negative. We are to bring joy back into our lives. That is the garden, that is the goal. If you focus on what is to come, if you focus on what is scary, if you focus on what distortion is trying to do as a last ditch effort to stop us from speaking, from harmonizing, then we allow them to survive longer. When our circles are complete, there is no way to break in. There is no way for them to dim us any longer because our circle is a flowing energy. It is our dodecagram. It is our 13th number. It is us bringing in Christ consciousness. It is becoming everything that distortion has tried to tell us to be afraid of. I'm bringing in a lot of information quickly. I'm going to allow Heather to organize it for me through maybe breaking it down, that I might be able to help those listening tune in even more with breaking it down into more of a easier way to understand what needs to be shared or be done. So help guide me, Heather, that I not bring in too much too quickly or to confuse the collective.
You're doing amazing, amazing so far. Thank you so much for that information. Well, let's do this. Because you've brought through so many beautiful things that we can touch on. Let's go back to the three activations that you've been moving through, Atlantis, Antarctica, and even Avatar, the movie, how all of that fits in. And we can even touch on Greenland because I know those are two areas right now that a lot of people are looking at. How does all that tie together and what do we need to understand?
So, yes, I learned this past week, I was taught, let me ask how I need to share this and break it down. Let's bring through some more energies to speak. What Julie experienced this week was a simultaneous activation of three triangular specific locations, codes, timelines. In the past, she's been only able to activate one at a time, but through the work she's been doing through her body and through her own voice and her own transformation, she was able to hold three activations simultaneously within a 24-hour period to not only bring through some information for the collective and through her system, but to collapse timelines, to accelerate the plan, to accelerate the return. Starting with Avatar was her first activation. As she watched the movie, she received not only activations, but codes, energy frequencies into her system so that she might remember. The movie Avatar mirrors the timeline, the period of Atlantis, which is portions of Antarctica that have been frozen for a purpose. Now, Julie just asked in her thoughts why we said portions. There's more unveiling to come. Parts of Atlantean that was spread out, not just in Antarctica, that will be unveiled later down the road. That has to do with the garden. Will not be unveiled at this time, but very much important to the return. Let's keep our focus on Atlantean, as in Antarctica. Avatar is a original blueprint of what that experience was like for those who incarnated during that time period. Watching that movie, if you have watched that movie, or if it ignites something within your system, within your body, within your mind, it is most likely that you took part during that time period of Atlantean, for it is an example of the experience that you were a part of. So when you are watching it, it's almost like you're experiencing it, living it again before it collapsed. It was a major activation that went into the second activation of the mirror. For the next morning, there was a show that popped up on Netflix about Antarctica, a documentary with Will Smith. Julie watched a few of the episodes and felt a rush of energy through her body and activations of the frozen ice. It was the polar opposites. It's the frozen and the unfrozen, the water in Avatar. Avatar, now they're showing me the three avatars. It walked through 3 different waves, 3 different elemental changes of the first one had to do with the people remembering the first one element, and the elements was the earth, it was the land, it was about the people and their history. And the second one brought in the water. The second movie was all about the water. The third one was called Fire and Ash. It is where we are in the timeline of fire and ash and burning down the old system so that it may reveal the truth. What came next was the Antarctica movie of the frozen ice, and it holding the memories and the experiences and the incarnations of what Avatar brought that has been frozen in time in layers. They're digging through the ice like it's sand, Antarctica is a desert, frozen. It is the layers of a tree that unveil the history and the truth. And what will be unveiled will be so magnificent, so incredible, so beautiful. It will reveal the truths, the technology that has been hidden because distortion would have misused it. The third activation was Greenland. she watched the movie Greenland because her son wants to watch Greenland too. It is not a coincidence that the movie Avatar came out at the same time that Greenland 2 came out in the theaters. These are all timed for a specific reason. Those who have created these movies are remembering. We're going to shift for a second to explain something that we feel many have questioned in their minds that we want to answer at this time. For those that have incarnated on the planet that have incredible gifts, very talented, where we will use people like Mozart, Beethoven, even those who are singing tones like Michael Jackson or Ariana Grande, those who have created through their voices, through their tone, through their art, through their craft, they have come back for a purpose, to incarnate, to master their craft, to bring through knowledge, wisdom. Everybody plays a role. There are those who are part of the elemental guardians, the elemental keepers of the elements, those who master their crafts, who master their gifts and over again so that they may bring information or tones or words through their voices, through their gifts to help. So these movies, these things that have been created, they're remembering now because time is bending. They're creating these things because they're singing through their voices. They're creating these movies like Wicked and those movies. Some people focus on the distortions within them, but those who are tuning in see the truth within them. Everybody has distortions within them that they must conquer, or they must, what's the word? Overcome, to reveal what's truly within themselves. And the truth within themselves is their worthiness and their who they are at a soul level without the distortions that they must overcome. For when they do that, then they're untouchable, they're unreachable, because they're vibrating at such a beautiful frequency and light that nothing can touch them. So these movies and these songs that are being sung and these words, they're using their voices, they're using their craft to help us remember. So these are activations within the collective. So focus on the truths of them and not this distortion within them. So this movie Greenland that Julie watched was the third activation in a row, where Greenland also holds many mysteries and truths to our planet that are becoming unveiled, having to do with the elements. You have what I'm receiving with Greenland right now is something with the Lemurian time period, but there's also, I'm getting French Polynesia and area as well. There's different places lighting up, like just like the movie in Avatar, ley lines lit up within the bodies, within the sea animals, within the land. We're starting to come online and we're lighting up and we're connecting to these parts of the land that we were a part of, that we were in during those timelines we incarnated during those periods. And Greenland is a big one for many of us. So we're connecting to these ley lines on the land because they're being unveiled and they're being, we're connecting to them because we're remembering. They're coming in waves. And they all represent different elements. We've got Africa. Africa is lighting up. Antarctica is lighting up. Greenland, Bora, French Polynesia. French Polynesia is very feminine. It's coming online. All of these areas hold keys, hold codes, hold technology. And they each also represent places that water, rivers in the sky have landed in. Africa will receive the waters, the rivers, for the water holds our memories, our experiences, which is why we are made up of so much water in our bodies, because we are lighting our water. It's like the water in Avatar. It's alive, it's living, it's within us, and it's connecting to our voices. The water connects to our voices. When we connect our voice to the water within, that is what's activating these places, because it vibrates out stronger and louder. That's why we have to speak. We can't just be water. We have to be water connecting to a tone, to a frequency, to a voice. And that is what is unveiling these parts, these areas. They are bringing back what has always been hidden, these massive timelines, experiences during Atlantean, Lemurian. They are holding the codes, the keys to the new garden. We need all three. It's like a triangular situation happening that creates a circle outside of the triangle. I'm getting a visual of a shape and geometry. These are the codes I've been receiving throughout my body that have been coming in at a lightning speed as I've been moving through portals and timelines within my third eye. I've been receiving pages and pages of geometry and codes. So things are starting to light up because they're coming online. There is another chamber hidden beneath the Vatican. This chamber is online as well. This technology has been hidden. They've been using it, misusing it. There is always an opposite to truth and distortion. This technology, they have tried to control it, but they cannot, they do not know how. That's as far as I can go. But this has to do with the children. This has to do what has been silenced, hunted, that will become unveiled in the near future, that will also shape and shift everything. For the children are the divine. They are pure. They are the ones without ego. They are who we are to become again. Children are joyful. Children do not live in ego. They forgive. That's why they've been hunted. That's why they've been misused. That's why they've been trafficked, because they are pure and they are using them in very sad ways. We are not to focus on the details of what is being done. But by us dying to ego, by us bringing back in our childlike self, our joy, our forgiveness, our kindness, by becoming little children, we are resurrecting our own bodies. We are bringing in Christ consciousness. Christ always went to the children. He taught the children. He spoke to the children. But he wasn't just speaking to the children. He was speaking to the child in us. That's the missing point, the missing part. He is speaking to the child within us. He was an example of dying to ego, of resurrecting his body back to a childlike state of love and joyfulness. And by us doing it, us adults doing this, we help the children. We dissolve the illusions. We unmask and unveil and remove the curtain that has been held up for far too long. For the curtain has to come down, or has to be removed. The masks have to be removed. We are already witnessing this right now, but it's accelerating because of those tuning in and those who are bringing joy back into their lives. Our focus must be on the garden. That is the what's the word? Not just the goal, it's like a bigger word than goal. It's the return. It's joy. It's the key to embodiment and eternity and light. And I don't think there's a word on our planet because it embodies so many different words that I can't come up with the word. It's a frequency. It's not a word. It's a frequency. It's a return to a frequency that is something that we forgot and that we are trying to remember. We can't remember it if we focus on the fearful things or the sad things. Yes, we can feel them. Yes, we can empathize. Yes, we let the pain move through us, but then we speak light and joy, and we help guide those that are fearful to the garden. We help them find their way. We help them on that yellow brick road, not to the wizard, but to the garden. The wizard is distortion. It's the curtain. There's so many movies that have come out recently where we felt that we get entangled in the distorted part of it, where we start to judge these things and the people and their missions and who they are. But that's not who they are at a soul level. Let's focus on what we are here to see and feel and unveil, and what rings at a vibration of the highest levels of light. For that is the message, that is the truth within it. Let's not dissect it. Let's not distort it. Let's not let's even the movie now, the show Stranger Things is coming up. There's so many things in Stranger Things that is truth, but people focus on the distortions within it. Focus on the messages that are trying to be spoken through to help us remember their activations. You don't have to give energy to things that are, yes, there is so much pain on this planet. Yes, there is so many things that are wrong. There are so many things that are horrific and disgusting, and it brings up emotions of anger and frustration and hopelessness. But that's what they want. They want us to tune into that. We must tune into the opposite. We must, yes, we can be angry, but use that anger as fire to speak truth, but also use that anger and turn it into joy. Use it to fuel yourself to rebirth beauty and light and goodness on the planet. Don't freeze into the fear. Release it and say, I no more. Speak up in a way that will shift everything. Walking into a room of people of distortion, you don't even have to speak if you're embodying Christ consciousness, if you're embodying truth and light. You will radiate at a frequency that will shift and change the entire room just by walking into it. It's you doing the work on yourself to bring it through your body. It's you birthing new earth within your body and walking into a room and shifting everything. That is enough. It's not, it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be this overwhelming thing. We must do it and pace ourselves. We must rest. We must say no to things, say no to distortion, say no to things that don't align within your system, things that don't feel truth or don't feel true as to who you are or where you're going. And then rest, embody, bring it into your system and radiate something within your body that changes and shifts an entire room and then shifts an entire city and then it shifts the entire planet because people are tuning in to what you are bringing within your system, and that is love and light and joy, not sadness and fear and anger and hate and dividedness. That's what they want us to focus on. So the more and more of us that shift into this new frequency, this new idea, this new embodiment of joy, that's what's going to birth into the physical. This that is what's going to come after the ashes, after we burn down what needs to be burned down. And we burn it through. We can still have joy through the fire and the ashes. It's not to be something that is heavy. Let's release the pressure by speaking. Even speaking happiness and joy and love. Doesn't our truths don't have to be truths of, sadness, even though that does help. We need all of it. We just need our voices. Sing in the shower, hum, tune into the vibration. When we hum at a low frequency, or not a lower tone, sorry, not low frequency, but a low tone. So when it's a where you're tuning in to the earth and Sophia, when we sing hi, when it's yeah, in the shower, in the water, feel it connect, feel the vibration vibrating out. That tone is the other world. It's the world above at our crown chakra. It is the spiritual realms. We need both. We need high frequencies to tune into the world above us. We need low frequencies to tune into the world below our feet. And together they come into harmony, into our center, into our heart center. They bring in love and they bring in the feminine and the masculine. And they bring everything into balance and wholeness. and then others tune in, and it helps shift everything. So whether you sing, whether you speak, whether you share, whether you're vulnerable, all of it shifts it. But we must tune in. And that is the message of the day. That is the message of the session, is to unite and not divide, and to come into the tuning fork, which I'm to bring through my system and my body, as others will do so as well as they create their circles. And their circles, when I speak of circles, I speak of those who are part of you becoming and remembering, those who have helped you rise in your voice, those who have helped trust in you, those who have helped tell you your truths, that you are not too much, that you are enough, you are whole, those who lift you up. Those are your circles. Those are those that we create our dodecagram. And then we bring in Christ consciousness and we meet him in the center with unconditional love for humanity. And we become the number 13th that the world has been afraid of, that is hidden. Christ was number 13. We are our 13th number, those awakening in the first wave to help others. We are creating our circles because distortion cannot break through a circle. It is flowing energy. It is bringing forth and through all the gifts of the spirit, all the gifts of light and embodiment. And it is flowing, and distortion can no longer bring in. They cannot reach you. They cannot trigger you. They cannot make you question yourself, because you are standing in your own tuning fork and tuning in your own circle, your own dodecagram that links together as a collective, that brings chain links, that brings a tapestry, that brings in energies that now embody Christ consciousness. We are bringing the two worlds together. It is not about a savior. It is about saving ourselves. It is about us rising into a consciousness that changes and shifts everything. But do not be afraid of a collapse, but soften the collapse through your voice and your truth, so that anything is possible. So we don't have So Julie doesn't have the visual of people running in the third wave. Let's shift it. It doesn't have to end like that. It doesn't have to be like that. We are accelerating, we are doing the work, and we can make it beautiful. It doesn't have to be terrifying. So let's make it beautiful. Let's not feed into the fear. Let's not give distortion any more reason to survive. Let's cut off their supply. They no longer have access to us, because we are standing for unshaking, unshakable, unmovable. Like we are standing with our light to the sky and source, and our feet grounded in Gaia, connecting all at one moment within our system, meeting at our center.
Amazing.
Where should we go next?
And you want to take just a breath for a minute? You're doing great. That's amazing. I'll give you just a minute to kind of breathe and just relax. And I'm going to look at and see.
Wow, there's so many tuning in already, like ringing in my ears.
What do you feel?
There's just so much ringing and tuning in right now happening. I feel it coming from above and below. I feel like things are awakening beneath my feet.
Wow.
I feel like there's angelic beings above. There's just a lot of tuning in, and there's just this beautiful tone ringing through my body. And it's like we haven't even shared this session yet, but it doesn't even matter, because it's a frequency and energy going out, and people are already tuning in.
Yeah.
They will have additional activations once they listen in, and they hear my voice, because it's not just my voice, it's the voices of so many different energies within my system.
Yeah.
But they're already tuning in.
I felt like this was going to be almost like a tuning fork. We talked about that before. It's almost like whatever frequencies come through. And yeah, they've told me before, my team, that it doesn't even matter who hears it. It's already in the collective field as you bring it through.
Yes.
So beautiful. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about these waves. I'm curious. So you felt like three waves are coming. We're in the first wave. What is the first wave, second wave, and third wave, and how do we shift that? Because those waves could potentially be a little bit more challenging, but there's ways to divert that energy. What do we need to understand about all of that?
So think of an ocean wave. When it comes in pretty aggressively, forceful, intense, but it hits the sand and then it spreads out onto the sand and it just softens and it glides and it lands. As Julie has been receiving her waves of energy, as she's been receiving her activations and her frequencies and codes, and I'm getting a visual of something I haven't seen before in
Mm.
the waves of the water. I'm trying to understand what it I'm seeing. There's like little crystals in the water. The water is it's like beautiful crystals. I've been receiving not just water, but what the water is carrying. It's I'm becoming like a chrysalis, crystallized, something with
Crystalline?
some crystalline. Thank you. It's
Mhm.
something I've never seen before. And it's like lighting up in these beautiful, I was just like a little side thing that I was getting a visual of that was really beautiful. So I'm not just receiving
That's what the
the way,
bodies are becoming, correct?
yeah,
We're moving from carbon based to a more crystalline
yes, they're
structures, bringing more
carrying,
light.
thank you.
Yep.
That's what I'm also receiving that I have not understood in these waves of energy of like the ocean of waves it's carrying and being coming like a chrysalis within my body that's now going to light up. That's also part of like what happens when I walk into a room. It's like I'm lighting from within outward. That was a little side thing, sorry.
No,
Um,
perfect. Beautiful. That's
oh,
what's happening. That'll be happening to many, turning into a more
yes,
light body or light based.
yes. So I'm gonna go back
Okay.
to this wave. The first wave, I'm gonna let this energy speak through me again. I kind of stepped in. When I say this energy speak through me, it's I allow the energies that I have at the beginning of the session that came in through the golden light to speak as a collective. And when they speak as a collective, it's I allow them to speak through me as one voice. So I'm just letting it land within my ears are a little pressurized right now. Tuning in.
Yeah, take your time.
The first wave is the family, and it starts with you and your family. It starts with those who have awakened, those who have been feeling the last 9 year cycle, who have been walking through their own trials, their own sheddings, their own transfigurations, their own resurrections. They are those who chose to volunteered and arrive when they did to awaken. Some of them chose to come incarnated into this cycle, partially unveiled. Those who chose to be partially unveiled are removing the last parts of their veil because they are remembering, and they volunteered to do so to help those coming after them in the second and third waves. It was a harder road. They have been through it. It's the best way to say they have just been through it. And it has been difficult and hard. And they have had thoughts of, why is life so hard for me and not this person? And why it's almost been a survival of the last 9 years. Will I survive? But it's been a beautiful thing to witness from where we are, to watch your strength and your courage to pick yourself up over and over again, to get out of bed in the morning, to keep going and moving while every wave has been crashing down hard. It's all softening because you chose to do it with love. You walked that path, you walked that awakening where the waters would have engulfed some, would have drowned some, would have taken them under. You are stepping out of that wave and you are walking onto the sand, and it is softening around you like beautiful crystalline crystals of light because you chose. My whole body is lighting up like a crystal. I can't even tell you what's happening to me right now.
I
It's
love that.
incredible. I have tingles, my cells, everything is just on the grid. It is, I don't know how to explain it, but it's incredible. And I'm speaking this from all of these beings, and it is just incredible. Oh,
Doing great.
okay. I'm going to go back.
Mm-hmm.
You have done it with so much compassion and empathy and love. This is why everything is shifting. You are coming out of it more beautiful, more bright, more loving, more empathetic, more true. And you did it. You survived it. And we knew you would. We knew you would. And it has been our honor to watch and to experience it with you. And we have been helping you. And you are coming to the end. And you are about to birth something and walk into something so beautiful and so soft and so joyful. It is coming. You are at the tail end and you have made it and you have arrived, and there is no going back. That wave will not crash so hard. That wave is on the sand and you are firmly on your feet and you are connected, and it is going to be so bright and beautiful. And now we speak to you. We speak to you who chose to be partially unveiled, who chose to walk through the shadows of distortion, to live with it, to live amongst it, to go into the lower frequencies, to live with them. We are speaking to you because you are coming out so much brighter, because it is your time to shine. It is your time to experience the joy, and it is your time to not be afraid, and nothing will shake you and nothing will move you. And that is when the second wave will arrive, because you are here to help them, because you are here to soften it for them. If it comes hard crashing on them like a wave, like it did for you, you will be part of the softening. Even if it comes crashing down, it will not come crashing down on you, because you will know what it feels like to experience joy and to not be shaken and not be moved. And this is a key point that Julie has not understood until now as we brought it through. that she is, that you are. All of you that have been part of this first wave, part of the family, part of the volunteering to be unveiled, to go and walk through such hardships, you will now be the reason that it will land so softly. The waves will land softly because you will be letting it. You will let the wave hit you, and then you will absorb it through your body because you have become the tuning fork, because you have allowed it to now land in your system to absorb the shock. When the shocks come, when the shaking comes, when the fire comes, when the collapsing comes, when what has been veiled becomes revealed, when people are scared, you will allow it to absorb through your body. You will take it on because you have prepared your body to do so. You have said, I will absorb it. Your dodecagrams, your circles that you've created will absorb it, will take on the shock. And because you have volunteered to do so, it will be so much less painful and less fearful for the second wave coming. And when you've brought that second wave in and they have done their work and they have now embodied Christ consciousness and they have brought in the light and they have died to ego and they've resurrected their bodies, they will now be able to take the waves that are coming for the third wave. And each wave, yes, might look scarier, but not for us because we have promised and volunteered to allow it to filter through our body that we have embodied of light and truth. Because we know that it will not shake us. We will stand there tall and we will not be moved. We will say it's okay and we are safe. We know because we went through it and we know that we came out of it safe. We came out of it with joy and we trusted the process. And because we did so, we will be able to allow others to trust in us. And we will allow it to soften and land in a way that will not take us under. We will not drown. We will not be taken in. We will watch from above and we will witness and we will say, this has been the plan all along. And we have to rebuild. And we will rebuild through our faith and our joy and our fearlessness because we have already been through it. We have walked it and we came out okay. And we can tell them it's going to be okay. Whatever happens, let it happen. Let it flow. Do not force it. Do not control it. Let it land. Rest your bodies. We have been resting up because what is coming is our time to rise, to speak, and to embody, and to shift everything and bring back the garden. We have brought it through our bodies and our systems, and now it's time to birth it within this physical realm. And let the curtains fall and let the masks fall and let whatever needs to be revealed, let it be revealed. And don't fear it because it is all going to land softly on the sand in the most beautiful way with all the elements coming together with the sun shining. The crystals in the sand, we will be shining like crystals. So bright because the water connected to us and we let the tone come in. We harmonized all the elements together, working together. And just, when you go to the beach and you're just lying there with the sun in your face and the water hits the sand and the sun hit the sand, like that is the crystal that we are becoming. That's the chrysalis. That is the technology. That is love. That is purity. That is what we are creating here. And it's all coming together within our system. We are allowing it to land within our system because the water is hitting our voices and we are creating something beautiful. We're letting earth land in our body and ground us. We're connected to her. We're letting her embody us. We are bringing in this beautiful diamond, this chrysalis, and we are becoming unveiled and we will shine so bright that nobody can dim us anymore. Nothing can touch us because we are shining so bright. And that's all we have to do. That's it. We don't have to make it It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to cause stress and anxiety. It's just embodiment. It's just our crystal shining through. It's just our truth. It's our resurrection. And we are resurrecting this planet and ourselves. And we are going to be beams of light and frequencies of light, standing firmly where others can tune in, that they may do the same thing. And it is going to be a collective effort. We need all of us. And it is going to be so beautiful, so incredible. And what is coming at the other end of this is nothing like we have experienced before. It's going to be, do you know what? It's going to be not just back to the garden and remembering the garden from the beginning. It's going to be something so much greater than the garden. And this is the reason why, because in the garden, we were unveiled. We had the truths. It was easy. What we just walked through was resurrecting our bodies without having to die to our bodies. We died without having to physically die. We brought in so much love and light, regardless of this distorted world we lived in, regardless of this low frequency world. We said we will rise above it and we will resurrect our bodies without having to physically die. And that is why this is going to be something we've never experienced before in beauty and joy and light. It's never been done before, but we're doing it, and we collapsed the bridge. We are no longer letting distortion come in to dim us, but yet we are also merging into something from above and below that is so beautiful. We are letting in the truth of the two worlds, not the distorted version of it. And we are merging it into, I mean, there's just so many synchronicities and things you can go back and watch in Stranger Things that will bring so much of this into truth and light if you tune in to what it was truly explaining and telling us. Whether we want to talk about things that are happening on the planet that are truths, MK Ultra and these things that are truths, but is that what we need to focus on? Is yes, it's there. Yes, it's happened. Yes, distortion has tried, but that is not our focus. Our focus is on the garden. And if we can focus on that, all of that other stuff just dissolves. It just disperses. It has nothing to feed it any longer. So yes, while we want to know what distortion has done, what they're hiding, what they've done, we have to focus on where we need to put our energy, and we can acknowledge that it's happened, and we can empathize, and we can allow it to move through our system, but we are letting it do it in a way that dissolves it, because it cannot touch a crystal, cannot touch a diamond. None of that can survive within the amount of light that we are going to embody within our systems. So let's focus on that. It doesn't matter anymore. It happened. It is happening, but it's no longer going to survive what we are bringing to this planet. It no longer is going to have an energy source because we're cutting it off. We will not give it any more supply. You can bring this back to your relationships. You can bring this back to narcissism. You can bring this back to so many things. Everything has been trying to get our supply, and we've allowed it because we've been afraid. We've been hidden and we've been veiled, but that time is changing. That ship has sailed, and we are no longer shrinking. We are stepping into our power, and that power is going to reignite and relight up the world in a way that's never been done before. And we can't be stopped. We've come too far. It's never gone this far. We needed the experiences of Lemurian. We needed the experience in the incarnations of Atlantean, because we needed to know what we did, we weren't ready. Everything needed to come into alignment in the way that it is now for it to happen in the way that it is. It's not that we did something wrong, it's that we didn't have what we have now. We needed all of these fragments gathered together. We needed to embody the codes. We needed to bring them into our DNA. We needed all these incarnations and these experiences to be able to do what we are doing now. And it took all of that to get here. And we're here now. And we did it, and we've come further than we ever have. And it will not collapse. It will survive the collapse, and it will be birthed into something out of the ashes and out of the fire that we are lighting. And, you know, when distortion tries to come in and say, oh, but climate change, and oh, but, the water's rising, and just trust it. We are doing it. We are creating it because it's what needs to happen. It's what's been planned by us this whole time. I mean, we need to just trust it and not be afraid of it. Let it flow, let it happen. Let Gaia do what she needs to do. Don't let those, lies and distortion come in to say to you, but wait, look what they're doing. But no, we're not going to survive this, or we got to do something about it. You know what you do about it? You bring in more love into your system. You die to your ego and you resurrect your body, and you die in a way that doesn't die to a physical death. You want to help the collective tune in. You want to change the planet, harmonize, hum, use your voice. That is what's going to do it. It's not that complicated. It's hard work, yes. It's not easy. You have to go through the pain. You have to go through the uncomfortableness. When you bring in that amount of frequency and light into your body, it's uncomfortable. It's not pleasant, but can be simultaneously joyful at the same time. It can, because you're bringing in more light, and so you are going to be happier. Yes, you might be a little bit uncomfortable, but that's where you have to go in order to change things. You got to go to the uncomfortable place. Otherwise, nothing will change just by tuning in, and more is to come. More is to come. There are technologies, things that you have never even seen yet, that will help this speed up. Some of us chose to do it the harder way, but the things that are coming are going to be, it's technology that we have hidden because it wasn't safe to bring it out, because it was going to get misused. But there's enough of us now that are controlling it. The technology will only be able to be controlled by those who are pure and whole and light and are embodied Christ consciousness. Those are the only ones that are going to be able to even access this technology or even control it. Those that have lower, that have not done this embodiment work won't even be able to touch it with a 10-foot pole. So it wasn't time for it to be unveiled. These chambers that Julie has seen that she's receiving through visions and activations, they have come through her system because she is doing the work of embodiment and doing the work of resurrection on her own self and her own ego. And those who do that work will have access to this technology. And then we will know what to do, because we are being guided, and there are blueprints, and there are maps, and there's orchestration going on. And we will be guided to know exactly when and where and how it is to be done. And we just have to let it naturally unfold and not force anything.
So let's talk about, what is your next tone, the exact frequency, sound, or truth sentence that stabilizes the next wave? What do you need to know today?
So for the collective, I want to speak first. Everybody has their own individual tone that they tune into. And sometimes that shifts, and sometimes it changes, and sometimes it's they need to tune into the spiritual realms and it's a higher frequency. Sometimes they tune into a lower frequency and they need to ground. So I want to say to the collective that if you are feeling things landing heavier or you're feeling overwhelmed, tune in to what feels right to you in that moment. Get in the shower, activate it with the water, find your tone, and then hum it, sing it. Sometimes that tone might look like speaking when you need to speak, if it feels right, when you need to share your truth, whether it be social media, whether it be with a friend, whether it be a family member. Tune in to your voice and speak it, and it will help you ground into all of these major shifts happening. And so that needed to be shared first. For my next tone, moving into this next phase, there's going to be some activations coming. They're coming in more rapidly because I can handle more. I don't need as much recovery time as I did in the past, where it used to take weeks. It's only going to take days. And they're going to mirror events within the planetary system. There's many solar flares. I activate, I shift, and then the collective mirrors or the planets or no, wait, Gaia, Sophia, Earth. That's what we're in tune with each other. I feel it in my body first, and then it settles in into my womb, comes in like a wave into my head, moves through my body, lands in my womb, and becomes settled. And then there's a massive shift that will mirror it as I receive it. And that is coming in quicker now. So I need to continue to rest up. In the next few days, there are some still big ones coming, some big solar flares. I need to continue to rest. I need to continue to hum in the lower frequencies, humming into Sophia, grounding myself with more water, more bass, more humming in the lower range of frequencies. I need to pace myself. And then there's some big shifts coming towards the end of the month into the first week of February as we move into the final shedding. The collective will feel this as I move through it. They will move through it. Those who are in alignment and tuning in, prepare for big shifts with the 15th moving into the 17th, following from snake to horse. Then moving past the 17th, there will be some residual shedding, joy starting to move through the body, more laughing, more lightheartedness coming into the 26th, moving into completion with my contract and my divorce. I'm completing a cycle, completing a contract. That will be another big shift, a big day, but it's going to be more joyful than heavy, more. I'm getting a visual of me being in a lot of sunlight, a lot of sun shining, a lot of uh, like a breath of like release, a big release in my system, a completion. Big shifts coming early March as the earth will feel it after my big releases of the pressure that's been building. There will be a pressure release within the earth, within Sophia, there will be a mirror shift of pressure released. There is going to be more tears, sacred tears coming in the next few weeks. More, the last shed will bring tears, probably more rain. But springtime holds the resurrection. Springtime holds the final completion of transforming, of resurrection, where joy is really going to up its game, up its ante, more, a lot more just lightness coming in rather than the heaviness. We're going to feel it as a collective. My tone is, keyword is joyfulness. To embody joyfulness, bring back the joy and stop bracing for impact. That is the message. That is the clearing is we are already safe. There's no more bracing. We do not need to brace for impact. Everything has been set in motion and orchestrated to the point where we no longer have to brace. It's safe to finally release the tension within our body. Oh my gosh, my whole body's now like, whew, I was tense. I didn't even realize it. It's time to release the tension. Stop bracing for impact and bring back the joy. That is the message. That is the activation for those listening to this session. It's a tone for them to tune into. It's a message of tone. Oh wow.
You feel some ringing in your ears?
Yeah, it's just a lot of pressure still because it's still releasing in the next few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I speak, it will continue to release, but it's still building. We're not kind of like we're at the tail end, and what that usually means is there's a convergence about to happen, and distortion will try their last ditch efforts to divide us within your families, within your relationships, within your family members, like close connections and friendships, and they just want to divide us. And so it's like their last ditch effort before we really step into this next major shift on the planet. It's so massive. It's just never been done like this before. And so they're going to up their ante. So watch for additional just additional triggers or additional things trying to step into to make you feel like you continually need to brace for impact. Every time something comes in to make you fearful or I mean, there's just so much going on the planet with like, I know a lot of people are focusing on ice, the situation with that, and what's happening in other countries and World War III. And that is going to be that's what they're trying to do with this last ditch effort to keep us from embodying joy and stepping into this new, almost like I just got a visual of us stepping onto like new territory, new land. It's like we're crossing the bridge into like this other dimension, and they don't want us to do it because they know that if we do, then they no longer hold any more power. But the truth of it is that we've already stepped into it. It's already happened, and they just want us to continue to believe that we haven't and that we can't survive and that it's too much. So whatever pressure, whatever you're feeling, don't be afraid, because that just means that you're one of them that's about to step into just a totally different land, a totally different terrain, a totally different earth. We literally are stepping over. We're but we already have. That's what you just need to believe is true, is it's you've already done it. You've already done all the work. So just allow whatever is left to like um whatever you're feeling in your body, whether it's pressure like I am or emotions, like big emotions, just let them release. Keep speaking and don't, and just relax and rest and don't feel like you need to brace anymore for impact because that time is over. That period of 9 years is finished. And so we just have a few more weeks of just resting so that what's coming we will be ready for to be able to. It's going to take energy for us to be joyful, but it's a different type of energy where it used to drain us. It's going to be energizing us. It's going to be completely different. You are going to feel so much more energized, and just feel like you can just, I think people have already been feeling it. I know that I have. So if you've been waking up in the morning feeling more energized and more joyful, but then crashing out later at the night, or if it's been flipped, don't be afraid because that's just it that shift happening because it's coming and it's like the residual energies that we need to release and the shedding and all that is happening and if we need to still rest, just listen to your body. When you feel the energy, do your things, get your things done, feel the joy, but then listen to your body because we still have a few more weeks here to go. We're still need to rest up and then just watch what's coming on the other side of this in early spring. It's going to be so incredible. And yes, it might still be on the flip side heavy and scary, but we are no longer living in that world. We're living in the world of lightness and joyfulness and happiness and energized. We That's where our attention is going and softening and no longer bracing. Let them do what they're going to do in their last ditch efforts because they no longer are going to have any more supply and their days are numbered. And um, yeah, we're stepping into it. So just believe in that and let's come together and let's do this together as a collective. Let's continue to activate and continue to tune in and harmonize and use our voices so that we're already doing it. So let's just keep flowing with this energy and working together with Gaia, Sophia, and bringing in those, merging those worlds together into our heart center with more love and more compassion and more unity. Let's just like leave that word divide out. It's a potty word. It's a swear word. We're no longer dividing. We are coming together. Nothing can divide us anymore. And we're going to help those down the road who aren't ready for that yet.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of the beautiful beings of light who were here with us today, guiding this session. We are so very grateful. And we send you so
They
much.
just, sorry, I really quick want to say
Go ahead.
some of them wanted to name themselves as the
I
collective.
I thought about that. Yes. Who would they like
Well,
to bring that through? Go ahead.
they're calling themselves the Freedom Fighters.
Oh,
There's like a team of those who want the planet to be free because we've been living in a very um, we've been in enslaved,
mm,
and they are fighting for our freedom on the other side, not just the freedom of our, the planet, but our individual selves of our sovereignty. And they call themselves the Freedom Fighters, a group of them that were here, but there's also been very much the full embodiment, the individuals of Yeshua, but Yeshua also embodies that of Archangel Michael, and oh, something I can't speak of yet. It's not time, but there's a uh, let's just say there's an even greater embodiment coming, not greater than, but just more encompassing coming, in that aspect, and that well, that energy, that name that holds that. It's hard to explain, but that's about all I can say. But there's also been the Magdalene women during that time period that were doing the initiations and the activations, speaking here. There's been higher selves of myself, yourself. There's been teams and guides that have been not as much in like within my system, but are surrounding us, bringing their energies in. But the embodiments where I brought in many archangels, ones that haven't even been named, um, Metatron, the angel of transfiguration, and uh, Source. Source has been speaking through my body. It's just been a collective of beautiful energies coming together as one in one voice to speak at through not just my I'm just trying to understand it myself. They're just kind of trying to explain it to me, but it's more of like a because of the work that I've been doing with allowing these waves of energy coming in and then letting them land in my body and resting and changing myself through my cellular level. When my cells all lit up, it was like all of those, not just fragments of myself coming together, my higher self and all of that, but their energies being allowed to like light through me. And I'm getting another visual of Avatar when they light up in that show and the waters light up and the creatures light up. It's in the ley lines of the land. It's like you light up at a cellular level and now you're tuning in to all of them and you're all connected. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm seeing it and trying to explain it in layman terms. But it's just
Amazing.
been a beautiful experience to feel them all within me at a cellular level. Yeah.
Incredible. Thank you so much. It has been an absolute honor. We're so grateful for the messages today. Thank you.